The Nephilim sightings are going to start soon.
Consciousness has been enslaved.
Your consciousness does not need your physical body to survive.
It's the thing that's necessary, it has to be there. It's the coding that projects this world we currently live in.
He said, I want you to read the Bible.
We got reptilians on just outside of our frequency zone.
Six-dimensional beings, the ancient builder race.
Ideas are the highest form of intelligence, and that leads you to truth and clarity.
The Nephilim sightings are going to start soon.
Conspiracy chill.
If obviously aliens, our galaxy is insanely huge. We're just one planet.
They would have needed a minimum of 6 feet of lead shielding in order to get through the 25,000-mile thick Van Allen radiation belt.
This is real. They really did fake the moon landing.
The world is infinitely older than that. And I mean the world with human beings in it.
Skull and Bones is like one of the villains in the Legion of Doom.
He said, I want you to read the Bible.
The biblical flood, the Tartaria mud flood.
Conspiracy and chill.
The Nephilim sightings are going to start soon.
The bull god ball.
He said, I want you to read the Bible.
There's magnets in the basketballs.
There was a political party, a third party called the Anti-Masonic Party at a point in the United States.
The Global Pandemic Treaty.
Conspiracy and Chill podcast.
All right, so we usually don't record episodes the same week that they're going to be out, and this one is actually, as we record, is September 10th, and this episode will be out the very next day, September 11th.
A special 9/11 episode.
Right, and one of the main reasons why we're doing so is because we talked about it in the last couple episodes that you were going to England, Wigan, to compete in your second World Catch Wrestling Championships. They kind of stacked the deck against you this year by bringing in John Hathaway, who's like, would you say like a 6-time world champion catch wrestler, former UFC fighter. And yeah, that didn't matter because you got the job done again 2 years in a row. So fucking tell us about that, dude.
Double champ status. Yes, I am here on my farm in Ireland. Kind of repeated the process of last year. Went to some badass sites and got myself hyped up before the tournament. I had a bunch of English dudes in my bracket. And yeah, like you said, John Hathaway, definitely my toughest catch wrestling opponent I've ever had. And it's like they really wanted to get some English representation after the American people came and whooped ass last year. But it was a large majority, again, Americans winning all the brackets.
Wow.
And yeah, I tore my knee in the semifinal match, and so I won the world title finals match with a torn knee. I'm suspecting an MCL.
Ooh.
So pretty proud that I persevered through that, but I didn't come all this way to lose and had the built-in. I could have had the built-in excuse, like I was facing a fucking warrior in the finals, and I had a torn knee. Like I'm not at my best. I could have, laid an egg or pulled out or had a shit performance, and be like, oh well, I wasn't at my best. Like second place, it sucks. But like, fuck that, dude. I had to go just pure fucking rage mode, and I had Josh Barnett there in the corner for me, so that was a big motivational boost. Just tape my knee up and made it happen. And here we are. I'm on my farm where I'm nursing my injury and harvesting apples, harvesting ivy to make soap and doing some gardening. So it's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome. There's almost two different mindsets, right? There is like the one you described where, fuck man, I did my best, things just didn't work out, I blew my knee out, fucking second place is awesome, I lost to a UFC guy. There's that mindset, right? And then there's the other mindset where it's like, obviously like tearing your fucking shoulder or tearing your knee is never good, right? But there's a certain mentality where it's like, oh, okay, like what else? Because no matter what you throw at me, I'm gonna fucking overcome it. And that's what you did. That's what you are, So you said you suspect it's the medial collateral ligament, the MCL.
I formed this knee like 7 years ago, and never had any knee problems since. But I was trying to spladle the guy. Like I hit a spladle last year, and I want to hit it again, and I was going for it. So my leg, if you're not familiar with grappling, or even if you are, my leg was grapevined in on his, and he rolled in a really sudden and weird way, and he took my ankle like way outside of my knee line, so my leg was just shredded, and I felt it right then and there. And there was only like a minute or two left in that match, which I was already dominating, so I just kept riding it out and doing what I was doing. And then it doesn't feel terrible right now. I still got tape and a brace and stuff on it, but yeah, I'm messed up. I'll be on the shelf for a little bit.
Do you suspect that you can rehab it without surgery?
The other time I tore my knee, I just needed time in a brace. I needed to wear a brace for like 6 weeks and then rehab. So I'll be fine.
Do you think it's
got right over my fracture? I don't know. It's hard to say. I didn't go to the doctor or anything. People were telling me to take advantage of the English healthcare while I was there, or the Irish one and whatever, because I do have travel insurance right now, but I didn't really want to spend a bunch of time in a fucking hospital or emergency room or whatever when, I'm not going to die or anything.
Right.
I'm just hurt.
And especially if it's just if it's not a complete tear, they're not going to be able to really do anything for you besides brace it and tape it, which is kind of what you're already planning on doing. So,
Listen, I won't be doing any collar and elbow out here for the rest of my time, sadly. But I am planning and in talks to meet up with 2 of our former guests, maybe even in the same day, Nathan the Rambling Kern and Indiana Stones. So
that's going to be awesome.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, those were two cool fucking guys, dude. One's in Scotland, if I remember correct, and the other is in Ireland, right?
Both are here.
Oh, both are in Ireland?
Nathan's in Dublin, and then David is a little south.
Okay.
And the Cuchulainn stone, the same stone that I visited last time, like the warrior stone.
Yeah.
Where the dude in mythology, the most powerful warrior, he, strapped himself to that stone as he was dying. And what was crazy about it when I went there this time is in the story too, a raven lands on him and on the stone when he finally dies to signify that he was dead. And I found 3 raven feathers at the Cuchulainn stone in the days before the tournament when I was getting ready. So I was getting fucking pumped about that. That was some crazy shit.
As far as you know, are you the only one competing in the catch wrestling tournament that goes to these spiritual sites?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone probably thinks I'm a lunatic in a way to do all this. And I mean, some of the guys that I know were laughing about it. I was like, when they gave credentials, like, oh, he's a folk style wrestler, he's a former world champ, like this and that. When they announced you, I was like, can we put visited sacred stone circles to harness power and beforehand? And I posted the other day too, like, and I feel like I gave it away. I gave away, not that it's a secret or anything, but it's something I've utilized for a while, that I'm giving it away to the competition. I posted to Alex Pereira on my story, like dressed up in all this thing, and how he comes out to his walkout. I was like, why do you think this guy's so scary? He's completely in touch with his ancestry and like the warrior spirit of his people. Like he's all in on that, and that gives him an aura, that gives him a source of power. And I'm like, if you don't think there's anything to that, or you don't subscribe to that yourself, then that's on you. You're probably missing out on something powerful for yourself. But hey, let them keep doubting it. Let them think I'm weird. But I think other people will realize there's something to that.
Dude, Eric Paulson said the same shit about those harnessing the energies from these different spiritual sites, and he's fucking one of the most deadliest men to ever live, at least in the last couple hundred years.
Definitely.
I mean, look at any like historical army or historical just fucking warriors, bro. They all were in tune with their spirituality. So people could think what they want to fucking think, bro, but results speak for themselves, Yeah.
And I still got some time left here, so I'm sure some magic is awaiting me wherever I do decide to go, or whatever's going to happen. Some synchronistic weird shit will happen.
So how many matches did you have total?
3.
And you tore your knee in the second one?
Yeah. At the final, 2 minutes or so of the second one.
Damn. Wow. And then you had to get it taped up, a little pep talk by Barnett, and then you went out there and fought your toughest opponent and fucking almost lost quick. Yeah. But then you fucking battled out of it and then ended up beating him. That's like something you'd see in a movie, and you'd be like, oh, no, that's kind of a stretch.
I know.
But you did.
That's what Josh said. He was like, did you have to make it so dramatic, You got hurt and all this shit at the end, and you almost lose right off the bat to finally come back and win. I was texting my friends and my parents, like, when I told them, I was like, dude, I tore my shit. And I was like, I knew they were watching. I was like, this could be ugly. Like, I might have to play possum. It's a 10-minute match. Like, I'm going to fucking do what I got to do. He could be mauling me for 9 minutes, 30 seconds, but as long as I got time, I could pull this out.
And you did. That's fucking awesome, dude. So is it one pinfall? Does that end the match?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's what you did. You pinned his ass.
I did.
Is that more satisfying? Okay, so in your opinion, would you rather pin somebody or would you rather submit somebody?
Dude, I haven't submitted anyone in catch wrestling yet, which is kind of disappointing. I've pinned almost all my opponents in catch wrestling. A pin is cool because they, no matter what, don't go to your back. So when you make someone go to the one position they're not supposed to go to, that is pretty dominant. Making somebody surrender though is pretty cool as well.
Isn't it harder though to pin somebody?
I would say so, because it's
You could
like
catch
I said,
somebody.
that's the one position you don't want to go to is like, do not go to your back, do not go to your back, and they make you go to your back.
And how many wrestlers slash catch wrestlers actually spend time training off their back?
Not a lot.
Right. You know, that's like a thing in MMA. It's like you get a wrestler on his back, it's like they're kind of lost because they really don't spend much time training there because, like you said, that's where you don't want to be. So I would think that would be harder to do because you could catch somebody in a fucking guillotine or a Kimura in a scramble or whatever, an ankle lock, a knee bar, but it's to pin somebody. There's no, like, wiggle room. You pinned him. Oh, you caught me. You got lucky. No, dude, I pinned you. That's awesome.
And
So,
like with wrestling, I think it adds to the excitement too, versus people just laying there and, you know, rolling around in guard. When there's the 1, 2, 3 count, and you got to fight off your back, that adds some hype to it.
yeah, it'd be funny if there was like a fucking crooked ref like in WWE and they did a fast count, like 1, 2, 3. You remember those days? How is the immigrant situation over there?
Actually, where I'm at is normal.
Really?
When I was in Dublin last year, it hadn't gotten too extreme yet. I guess Dublin is a bunch of like tent cities, and I was only in Dublin for a day so far this time because when I flew to Manchester, but I guess it's pretty bad in Dublin. Here, just normal seems fine, but Dublin's crazy overpopulated with a bunch of migrants and stuff. Manchester seemed to be in that type of overpopulation, just over, crowded on purpose and very diverse, if you will.
You know what surprised me? I've been watching a lot of these videos where people go to ghettos, not in the United States, but all over the world. And it really surprised me to see some of these ghettos, like in France, in Italy, like Naples, dude. The whole city is a fucking shithole. And they have, seriously, and they have ghettos, dude, that make ours look like 5-star hotels. And I'm saying this because I haven't seen any specifically in Ireland, but I've seen some in England, specifically Liverpool, where, dude, I never realized, I guess, just how there's ghettos all, I mean, of course I realized there was bad neighborhoods all over the place, but the extreme poverty that most of the world lives in. And I was just wondering if that's evident when you go to England, I guess, because I don't really know if Ireland, I'm sure Ireland and Scotland and Wales have their areas, but I think England probably has more. Have you kind of seen any of that?
No, my time in England was actually pretty cool. I got picked up by a gentleman, Alan Glover. He reached out to me on Instagram. He's a catch wrestler and a coach, and he set me up to do a seminar at his gym the night before, just outside of Wigan, in a place called Halifax. And he's actually a police officer here, like a high up. Like, he's one of the few divisions of police that have firearms here or in England. And his job is, like, if there's a foreign leader coming over, or like a president from another country, or like some royal, that he's like the bodyguard of the people. So he was like, I feel like I'm just doing the same thing with you while you're over here. He was like escorting me around. I felt like a very important person just being escorted around by this guy. He was super cool. I taught at their gym. It was a blast. And honestly, the hillsides and like the countryside of England it is kind of the inspiration for it. Like Lord of the Rings, like the Shire, just super old villages and like very hilly, awesome landscapes. It was pretty sick.
Is that Manchester? Or like the suburbs of?
Yeah, like outside of it.
Now, do you know how far that is from the like Cumbria, the Lake District? I know that the Lake District is very far north. It's almost by Scotland. That's where my people are from, and it's supposed to be like all beautiful rolling hills, like just like you were saying. That's what I was wondering.
Not sure. It was probably a good bit away.
Okay. Yeah, the countryside's supposed to be just perfection.
It was pretty cool, and there was some giant tower that we kept driving by, like some old spire that some guy built just out of like ego, however many hundreds of years ago. And we kept joking that it looked like Sauron's eye really should have been at the top of it, just staring over everybody.
Right.
But shit out here, dude, is older than America. Like this building, this pub, this church, whatever, like older than America.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah. No, that's what's incredible, dude. Like the old I'm a big fan of like the old Gothic cathedrals and the fucking like just the way that they used to build shit, especially in like England and fucking and that whole area, all of the UK. Like they're just the way that they built shit. It's so incredible. It's awe-inspiring.
I saw quite a few Tartaria style, like, you know, half underground, like windows and doors underground on some like hilly roads and stuff. So no shortage of that. And it's funny, when I was chilling with some of the American wrestlers and Josh after the fact, and some conspiracy talks started coming up. And one of the guys, I guess, was a engineer, and I think he'd worked for NASA and stuff, and the flat Earth and the moon, the fake moon stuff started coming up. And I didn't go all in. I'm like, man, I wish I had Paulson here. I wish I had someone else here. I'm completely outnumbered and outgunned.
So
I need some schizo.
So he was totally of the belief that we went to the moon. The Earth is what everybody says it is, and he was totally of that ilk.
Yeah, most. I feel like a lot of athletes, even though we've talked to some good fighters and, you know, we've gotten some good shit out of guests, a lot of athletes don't really, you know, dive into the crazy shit too much.
Basketball players do. Fucking Kyrie Irving.
But if you took like the majority of the NBA, I would say most of them don't really give a shit about stuff like that.
No, the reason why I think that out of all not all, but okay, the four major sports leagues in the States, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, and the MLB, I think that the reason why the NBA has the most people open to these conspiracy theories is because something like 93% of the people in that league smoke pot.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There's a correlation.
And to be honest, like NBA's mostly black dudes. A lot of black dudes are more... Yeah, exactly. They came up in a system that didn't really look out for them, so they already have a mistrust of authority, and, you know, they're fully aware that things don't always shake out fairly, so that leads to a conspiratorial mind as well.
While I was over here too doing some work, I was listening to the Cult of Conspiracy podcast, and I want to talk to those guys again because an episode that they had recently came full circle for me in a couple ways, and I'll elaborate on that. And knowing that how you and I met was your old show, that you were looking for someone to talk about reptilians, and that was my obsession at the time. So I was like, okay, let's go. They had a guy, or they had a book of a guy, and I hadn't heard this in years, dude. This is like around that time, long time ago, when I was looking for reptilian shit. This guy named like Nicholas der Vere Drakenberg or whatever, like the true dragon bloodline royal of Europe spills all, and like they had his book or something, and how this guy believes like not all men are created equal, and like your bloodline matters, and his royal blood is the real royal blood of Europe, and he's like a Scottish royal, and they go back to the Scythian dragons and the Anunnaki and the Celts, and like it was overlapping a shit ton of like the Celtic and like, you know, the different connections with the names and the Gaels and the Galatians and stuff like that, with Anunnaki's twist and vampires and reptilians, and man, it was just so deep. You'll have to listen to that episode if you haven't, and I definitely want to chat with those guys again.
I definitely haven't. I haven't really listened to too many other conspiracy podcasts in the last little bit, to be honest with you, but that does sound crazy. I don't know how to feel about the reptilian ones. I used to, like you said a while ago, I was definitely more into it, believed it more. But, you know...
Well, this one wasn't even per se like a shape-shifting lizard person type of deal. It's more of like a... We have the bloodline of the dragons. Yeah, we are connected to the Anunnaki. Like, the dragon is like the symbol to them or something. And
you know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
Back when I was doing that same podcast, Reality Roundhouse, I had a gentleman on from Ireland. I'll have to see if I could find it somewhere like in the old internet archives. But he was an expert on the rhesus monkey gene. And I don't know if you've ever looked into that, but there's only a certain percentage of human beings that have this rhesus monkey gene. It's linked to like all these amazing things. And that was what that kind of reminded me of. I should look into seeing if I could figure out who that was and seeing if we can get him on.
That'd be a blast.
It's just been like eight or 9 years ago, you know, so I'm sure I could find it somewhere. The internet usually holds on to everything.
it's got something to do with Neanderthal, I'm sure.
Yeah, dude, it was so cool. And you know where I heard it first on was the Higher Side Chats, because back then there wasn't too many conspiracy shows, and that's kind of was my farming ground for future guests. And I obviously couldn't go over I couldn't look for their top A-list guests because I was a nobody, still am pretty much. But so I'd go for their mid-tier guests that really interested me. That's how I got Bob Frizzell. We should probably bring him back on. He was the first guest. That'd be fun.
You're a pioneer of conspiracy podcasting.
No, I wouldn't say. I mean, I appreciate it, but it's definitely Greg Carlwood, the Higher Side Chats. He's the fucking man.
We should get him.
That'd be legendary because he literally is the number one dude.
I'm glad we got Eric on the fucking podcast because now every day he sends me legitimately about 40 awesome conspiracy and schizo posts. I'm honored.
That is pretty cool to have someone that you look up to, idolize, someone to just send you those things on a daily basis. That's just fucking cool, dude.
I wish that he was fucking at this tournament because I didn't have any backup really.
Yeah, he could have definitely been the whole fucking reinforcement,
Plus, he's got the effect that he's so well respected because of who he is that even if he says some outlandish, crazy shit that someone completely disagrees with, they're probably just gonna let it go.
Yeah, they're just gonna go, huh? So you're gonna be out there this Saturday for UFC 306, huh?
If I want to see that, I'm gonna have to stay up mad late.
Right, you're right, because of the time difference. We were talking about that before we were recording. There's a 6-hour time difference?
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, the main card starts at 9 here, so it would be 5 a.m. by you. In Ireland.
Fuck, yeah. Probably ain't gonna see it.
That's rough because it's a pretty good card. It's the the one that's going to be in the Sphere.
It's like the mom. Can we get Khabib versus Connor? No, we have Khabib versus Connor at home, and it's Merab versus Sean O'Malley.
Right. Yup. That's pretty much. You got a fucking lethal, excellent master at range.
Wrestler.
Yeah, the Dvalishvili
versus lanky, rangy Irish striker. Well, Irish American striker, but yeah.
So as we record this on Tuesday the 10th, O'Malley is a minus 135 favorite, and Dvalishvili is a plus 114. And it's interesting to note that about a week ago, O'Malley was the underdog. So that's turned around. What do you think of? I know I kind of think I know where you're going to go with this, just because of who you are.
Grappler.
Yeah, you're going Dvalishvili.
Yeah.
How do you think it's going to play out? Do you think he's going to be able to just take him down, hold him there, and dominate him, and eventually submit him, or what do you think?
He might get some trouble, but he'll probably just beat him by decision, just via cardio and volume. He'll. I don't know, dude. You never know. O'Malley could fucking knock him out too. I'm not 100%, but I do just think usually the dominant grappler will win, and Merab's relentless. His cardio's too good. Sean O'Malley is very good at what he does too, but if you just consider the fucking lifestyle and the upbringing and the heart, you already know Merab is fucking better. He's just a warrior from the mountains who's been wrestling and doing manual labor and trains his fucking ass off. And O'Malley, as good as he is, he's a fucking goofy fucking pink hair stoner California American gamer.
He's actually from Montana.
Oh, really?
He's from Montana. His dad was a sheriff, and then he moved to Arizona to train with Tim Welch. But I could totally see why you say that, because he does look like a totally California surfer kind of fucking dude. That's his vibe. That's his vibe. So you kind of think that Dvalishvili is going to have the Bilal Muhammad game plan?
Yeah, he's going to just be fucking pushing him against the cage, taking him down, burying him.
I could see that playing out like that, but what I think is going to happen is I think that Merab gets reckless at times. In every fight.
He definitely walk right into a fucking shot and get clipped.
It only takes one with that kid. He did it to his teammate, Aljamain Sterling. I mean, I don't know, man. That kid, he's such a master at range, and people forget the kid could fucking kick too. I mean, because he's just so dynamic with his fists, but it should be a fun fight. I could see it going either way, honestly, but I think if I watch the fight play out 100 times, I think O'Malley gets it maybe 60% of the time, so based on that, I think I'm going to have to lean towards the champ.
We will see, huh? Well, I'm not a betting man, and I know you are, so.
Yeah, well, that don't mean shit, especially when a fight is that close. You know, and what's interesting is, okay, so like I said, O'Malley's a minus 135, Davies a plus 114. The next fight, the co-main event, is Shevchenko versus Grasso 3, and Shevchenko's a plus 114, and Grasso's a minus 135. So odds are flipped there, but Grasso they have as the favorite, and Shevchenko is the underdog. I like Shevchenko. I think she won the second fight. I believe Grasso won the first, so this is going to be the rubber match. I don't know, man. I think Shevchenko's, if she's not everybody always says Amanda Nunes, but I don't think Amanda Nunes was the greatest women's champion or mixed martial artist.
I like Valentina too. Not really a women's MMA fan, to be honest, but I always did like Valentina. She's brutal.
I mean, she goes fucking hard, dude. And she's got the fucking gun tattooed on her hip. Like, come on. That's fucking awesome.
Not into fighter girls either. There's a few random ones that are, but as far as like a masculine, scary, jacked fighter girl, she's kind of pretty.
Yeah, you know who I always like too, especially now that she retired and got her boobs done, is Joanna.
Oh yeah, dude. You know who's way better? The other Polish fighter, Karolina
Kovalkiewicz.
Kovalkiewicz. Yeah.
Yeah, Kovalkiewicz. Yeah. Yeah, she's a little thin. See, what I've noticed with Polish girls, man, is they look good until they're about late 20s. And then, boy, does it fucking take a dive.
Well, both of them are probably like 40s. They still look good.
Well, yeah, but I wouldn't put them in like a class of the average Polish girl because obviously they have amazing genetics and they have a bankroll too. So, man.
You never know when you hit the wall.
So you like Shevchenko in that one too?
I would say so.
And then the other fight that I wanted to talk about briefly was Brian Ortega and Diego Lopes. Ortega's a plus 145, Lopes a minus 175. I like Brian Ortega as underdog here again. I don't think he's done. I mean, maybe he is. I just don't think he is. I just worry that his chin is kind of suspect, and Lopes is a wild striker. So I don't know.
Yeah, that guy's brutal. But I'll go with that guy. He's a savage. Mohawk.
Going Lopes?
Mexican. Actually Mexican, yeah, versus a Mexican-American.
See, that's surprising to me because you have the grappler and Brian Ortega, even though he's a jiu-jitsu guy, not really a wrestling guy.
He's a grappler, but he's a jiu-jitsu guy. And usually I would still go with the grappler, but I like warrior strikers. I'm not really a fan of like technical striker. Like, I obviously respect it. I'm a fucking longtime MMA fan, practitioner, coach. I can appreciate it all, but like the technical, like precision striker has never been my favorite. Like, I loved fucking Chuck Liddell.
Chuck Liddell was one of the fucking best, dude. Like Rumble Jackson.
Rampage. Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, I can't believe you just said Keith Jardine.
He was honestly one of my favorites. We should get him on here. I'd love to meet him. That'd be a wild one because I loved Jardine, dude.
He goes way back, dude. I used to love the Dean Amin, bro. You know he does movies now and TV shows.
Oh yeah, I've seen him in a couple cameos.
There was another movie or show I was watching, and I was like, "That's fucking Keith Jardine." He was like it was like a bar scene, and he had like a fight in a bar scene.
That's what it always is. He's a good hired thug.
He's got that look. He's got like kind of like he almost looks like a Russian, like a stereotypical like Russian big thug out assassin, you know, because he's got like an elongated head that's bald with that crazy goatee. He's got like menacing eyes.
Hey man, yeah.
All right, you're gonna be in Ireland for yet a little while, right?
Yeah, about 2 weeks still.
Wow. What else do you got? What else do you got planned?
I'm gonna hopefully go to Josh Barnett's seminar, chill with him in Ireland. Definitely gonna go see some more holy sites, some that I have seen, some that I haven't seen. I wanted to climb a mountain again this time, but I don't know with my knee. We'll see. Maybe I'll still get it out. But chilling, man, chilling.
You should see if you could find some kind of psychedelics.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. The fucking family that I'm staying with, the married couple, has multiple like shaman druid people that they go to, and they go to the Hill of Tara, and the one hill that I did already visit, and one of them does like tobacco and cocoa healing ceremony, like crazy thing, and then the other guy does mushroom meditation rituals at these Irish holy sites.
That's
and,
it.
Yeah.
You got to do that, dude.
No shit.
Yeah. You gotta do that. That's like a once in a lifetime kind of fucking experience, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be legendary brutality.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking flawless victory, dude. All right, well, like, subscribe, share, do all that good shit. If you want to reach out to us, conspiracyandchill@yahoo.com, Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that good shit. What am I missing?
Stay away from cuntophiles.
Stay away from pedophiles.